Wordpress, Menus Made Easy by Jellyfish Training. I'm Daniel Wright. I'm a full-time trainer at Jellyfish, specialising in web-based programming. And with me today is Phil Simmonds.
Hi, I'm Phil Simmonds. I'm lead front-end developer here at Jellyfish. We're going to talk about WordPress and the menu system and some common issues when dealing with WordPress.
Brilliant. So I am going to start off by going through adding a new menu, or adding a few new menus. So let's look at what we're going to be aiming at. So we've got a primary menu system with some drop downs. We've got like a kind of user menu system up at the top, and down at the bottom we've just got kind of navigation menu system down here. The current state of this site is that basically no menu system, so it's just dumped in all of the pages into the header section here.
It's looking pretty ugly.
It's looking terrible, and so let's get straight in and sort that out. Okay, so the back end for this server here, the best way of adding menus, or the easiest way I find, is underneath appearance and menus. Now you can go into customize and create menus from there, where you can have a kind of preview, but I find it easiest to the interface that we have by just going straight into the menus. So from here, as we've got no menus already, it's giving us or prompting us straight away to create a menu. Now, initially, the name that we're going to give it, these are just for our own benefit. There's not going to be seen anywhere, so give it something that's going to be relevant. So I'm going to create that menu, main menu. And your settings that you get prompted with straight away, I would definitely recommend leaving this unchecked. Automatically add new top-level pages to this menu. I'd always like to have full control over exactly what goes onto my WordPress site, and I definitely recommend leaving that unchecked. The location of this one, the main menu, is going to be the primary header menu. These three locations that it's giving us by default, this is dependent on your theme, and so other themes, you may have many different locations where you can dot these menus. But pretty much this is looking as like standard.
Yeah, pretty standard. Like Daniel said, there is potential for more locations, but this theme has just the three for the time being. Okay,
so we're going to go for the primary header menu here. So let's start looking at what are the pages that we're going to need, or links that we're going to need. So the products. So we'll start off with the products. Now this products link itself is not going to be an active link. It's just going to give us the drop down. So let's get that one in first of all. So if we don't want it to be an active link, we're going to actually put in a custom link here, and we're going to link it to the hash, and the name of what's going to go in here is products. We're going to add that to the menu.
Custom links are really good if you wanted to send people out to a video, to YouTube or whatever. They're really good, just for more information.
And we're using the hash for this one, just so that no action happens. Let's just have a look. When I click on this, it's just, no action is happening, the page remains the same, and you see the hash just comes up into the address bar there. Okay, so then the subcategories that we're going to want are the boards, accessories, paddles, and all products. Now this builder's got a plugin called WooCommerce on it, and these categories have already been set up within that. So we can then go to the product categories here, and we want boards, accessories, and paddles. Add them. Now the WooCommerce has got a few places that can put things, so they're the product categories, but is actually under products itself. You can put individual products, and in this case I want an all products link. Okay, so At the moment, these are just all going to be top level, so I want to put these within the products link. So I'm going to start off by just dragging them to the right, and you can see this little sub item comes out. So we're going to put the accessories, probably put paddle after board, then accessories, then all products. Okay, so then we want the blog, the team, and the company. Okay, so all of that is going to be on the pages. So we've got the blog, the team, and we want these company links in there as well. Okay, so then you can see it's all just drag and drop. So I'm just going to put the blog next, then team, then company, and these are then again going to be sub menus, items. Okay, so saving that, let's just see what change that has made. So if I refresh this page now, and you can see super easy, we've got a much better menu system now.
Now, just on a side note, some themes, because they're all completely different, you may not have a secondary or tertiary menu system. So just be aware that that might not happen. On this theme, we obviously have that second nav. So that's great.
Yeah, so let's add that second nav now. So we're going to do create a new menu. I'm going to just give this something I know. So it's going to be my user menu. And we are just going to have, again, these are some WooCommerce pages that have been added. So yeah, my account, checkout, and basket. And just remind myself here, so you've got checkout, basket, and then my account. So you've got checkout, basket, and my account. There we go. And then all I'm going to need to do is set that as this one's going to be the pre-header menu. Okay, so I'm going to save that. And then finally, I'm going to add another one. And this is now going to be the footer menu. Now, the footer menu itself, yeah, we don't have any of the sub items. By default, WordPress is not going to, anything in the footer is not going to be have a rollover action to open up more links. So we're going to, and plus we want a home link in here as well. So we're going to make a custom menu just for doing that. Okay, so in this case, actually, we're not going to assign it to the footer. We're going to actually have to assign it to, within this theme, we actually have 6 footer widget areas. So we're going to need to assign it to one of those. You can see we've got 3, the first 3 here, but then there could be another 3 afterwards as well. So we're going to have to set it to a specific location of the footer. Okay, so we're going to want the home, and we are going to want products. Oh, actually, let's put the home in first. Let's also get the blog, the team, and the company. And we're also going to then still want an all products page. Okay, then ordering. So we've got all products, then the blog, then the team and the company. Okay, saving that. And then, yeah, finally, the location, the way that you dock it in there is not by clicking on the footer location there. We're actually going to want to go down to our widgets underneath appearance. And you can see here we've got 6 widget areas, and it's actually this second one here where I've got search at the moment. So I'm going to take out the search, delete that, and then I'm going to add a custom menu. And it is as easy as just dragging it in like that. I'm going to give it the title of navigation. And I'm going to assign it the footer menu. Actually, what I'll do is I'll put the main menu in so you can see what I was talking about with the sub items. So if we go back to here now, refresh the page, we've got our user menu coming up at the top. But you can see now we've got the main menu in with the sub items, and it's looking pretty messy.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Yeah, so let's go back and bring in the footer menu instead. Save that. UI changes, and there we go. Okay, so that is the Menus Made Easy section. So now I'm going to hand over to Phil, and he's going to run you through some of the pitfalls that new users to WordPress get stuck with, and give you some ways to fix those.
Awesome. Thank you, Daniel. So yeah, as Daniel was explaining, you come across so many different errors and pitfalls that we're hoping today that we can get those resolved for you. As we're still on the menu, as we're talking about the menu system, and as Daniel's explained, you can actually have a blank menu, and that is just down to saving the menu or putting it into the right space. So just be mindful that that could actually just trip you up. It's all about locations and about using your head. Another one is a connection error, a database connection error. This actually happens quite often. Don't panic. This actually happens quite a bit, and this is probably down to the credentials that you're using in your configuration. I would suggest just double checking your credentials, like the username, the password, making sure that the host is correct. You never know, there might be a capital where there shouldn't be, for instance. We're actually going to send out some details about these pitfalls and these errors that you commonly get. So don't worry, this is all documented.
Yeah, that's all in the slides that yeah, you can view connected with the video.
Another one is a blank screen, completely white screen. We call this actually the screen of death. And this is a puzzling one, only the simple fact because it's a white screen. There's a really simple solution to this. Again, going back into your configuration and putting your debugging for true. This will then display the actual error message on screen, and therefore you can debug from there.
Yeah, so you could take that error message. But obviously, there's so many things that could go wrong.
That's right.
But you could take them, put them into Google, and you're going to get loads of suggested ways of how to fix that particular error.
That's right. Yeah, and trust me, developers here also trip up on this one. So don't panic. Just Google it. There's another way of disabling plugins, just in case it is a plugin issue. You can also look at the default theme. Change that theme to another theme and see if that kicks into a better screen. Yeah,
so by changing that theme, it's basically going to return a could not find that theme, and then it's going to load the default theme, and that will get you back the access to the admin panel, so then you can go back and fix anything.
It may look a bit weird, but
yeah, just for the time being to get you back.
It's quite a good place to be in, to be fair.
Yeah.
There's obviously the dreaded 404 error page. I mean, that's a common for some websites, unfortunately. For WordPress, the common mistake is just to reset your param links. This is simple to go into the backend or the CMS. Go to settings, go to param links, and then just save again. Simple as that. And then you can just double check your website is up and running. There's also a manual addition to this, which is basically a mod rewrite. And again, some of this is detailed in the document that we'll be sharing. Logging out, and you forget your credentials to log back in, or
I've done that.
Or being locked out of your WordPress. I mean, it's a common thing. What we suggest is that you go into your database, or if you can ask your server provider to have a look into resetting that password, or even the email address. Sometimes you forget your email address. Some people do. But we also suggest that you hide those logins. And there are plugins for that. So WPS hide login is a great one. And also two-factor authentication. That's also a really good tool to have to stop any hacking whatsoever. Images. Now, sometimes the images do not come through. They just show an X, or the image isn't being displayed properly. And this is, again, another common one, especially when you're migrating from one server to another. Again, folder permissions, very simple change for this. We suggest that you change some of your files to 644 and the folders to 744. This means it's a read, write, and execute. And you can put those for a recursive on subdirectories as well. So if you have FTP access, you can actually go into to change those folder permissions. It's a simple right-click and then applying those in the numeric value. Simple as that. If you do get stuck, try 755 on the folder, on the image folder, and that should work.
Yeah, and even after you've done all of that, it's yeah, you could still use a plugin to then update all of the references to the images. Yeah,
that's very true. There's a plugin for it.
Yeah.
There's another one that's briefly unavailable for scheduled maintenance. Again, don't panic. This basically is just where the user or the owner of the website is just making an update to the site. That could be down to a plugin, but that could also be down to the WordPress being updated. If this continues for 10, 15, 20 minutes, then there's something to worry about. Don't fear. FTP, or go into the folders, go into the root of the folder of your site and delete the .maintenance file. Don't worry, it's just a maintenance to say this is what's updating. So you can delete it, don't worry. And you can also just double check that the folder permissions are fine. And that's really it. We've got lots of techniques and things with your training. I do hope that today's session has become valuable for you and your business. And if you've got any questions, we'll take some now.
We've got a couple of questions that came in previous to this. So first of all, how do I add tags to my posts?
That's a simple one. So if you go into the CMS, you can actually see in the post section, you can actually see your tags, and you just add them there. You made a valid point earlier that capitals.
Yeah, it's case sensitive.
It is case sensitive, so just be aware of those.
Yeah, so otherwise you're going to double up your tags. So yeah, make sure that you just stick to one system. So typically with my tag, I always just stick to lowercase, yeah, you won't have a problem. Another one is what's the best way to deal with comment spam? So I'd say obviously you've got to have a active role in managing your WordPress account, but by default I would then set the new user to a read only or reader only, and yeah, only increase their level on request. This just gives you complete control, and obviously if you're finding that someone has just spammed, you're going to have to block them or put them back down to a reader. So yeah, active management basically.
Yeah, and for added security, you can always add extra security onto that, and you can use other plugins, more plugins, but they are helpful, especially around security. Performance and security at Jellyfish are key here, so just be aware of that.
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of plugins, yeah, that you've got your three main areas: performance, security, and SEO. So you're always going to I mean, we just keep going on about plugins, but yeah, it is one of the cornerstones of having a good WordPress site.
To be fair, if they're posting 24 posts per second around the world on just WordPress, I think security is the main.
Indeed. All right. Well, thank you for joining us for the Menus Made Easy by Jellyfish Training. And once again, yeah, we're going to post the slides that have got all the information that Phil's been talking about, and any information about links to our courses.
Thank you.
Thank you.